this trip is such a powerful trip, and yet there's so many obstacles that people put in front of it. And I just want to encourage you to encourage others to join you. I'm calling it the reunion tour. And if you've never been, you're welcome to come. And all that really means is when you go on a reunion, you're going to see people that you hopefully want to see again. Now, I've never gone to any of my reunions. I have no desire to ever go. I will never attend any of them. However, going to Malawi is different than anything I've ever done in my life. I've been to 40 plus countries. As if you're brand new here and this is your first meeting. I've just never experienced anything like Malawi. I've never experienced anything like the camaraderie. I've never experienced anything like the connection with the people, with the Malawians, with the people in the village, with the ABC interns, with the ABC leaders, with the team. There is just something that puts this at another level. The more people we bring, in my opinion, the more the grove grows deeper roots. Because it really changes how you go to church from here on out. There's just something about coming back to church, sitting right there, and realizing the person you've never seen in your life that goes on this trip with you has been sitting next to you for 8 years. Who is it? Neighbors. You guys went on the trip, and they found out they literally lived behind each other.
So we moved.
So, I mean, you're like 2 doors away or something?
Yeah, we're like a street.
Okay. I was there while they were talking in Malawi, and they're like, wait, on this street? No, wait, on that one? No, wait, so wait a minute, that's your house? This trip is just at another level. And yet people look at the finances and they're afraid to step in. They look at the 2 weeks and they're afraid to step in. They look at all the above. They look at the negative feedback. Why don't you just do that something here? I get oftentimes, well, why won't I just give you money instead of wasting all that money for me to go there? Because it changes you, it changes the community. It is just so powerful. I always say her name wrong. Ali. Gosh. How many times have you come here? So I like to blindside people. Come on. So she came to me last year. Can I say terrified?
Yeah. Very.
And she said it's. I mean, I'm just gonna let you talk. You had every anxiety and fear known to man stepping into this, and yet you kept baby stepping your way there.
Yeah.
Right? Just so you know, I intentionally don't tell you everything because it's healthy for you to have a little bit of fear and to figure things out on your own. But I've also gone to Malawi 25 times, so I know when you're really, really worried about some of your worries, I know she's going to be fine. But walk us through a little bit of that process.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely was terrified. I think the first time I spoke to Melinda, I was crying. I mean, like, it was literally the same meeting. Like, it would break out, and they were like, oh yeah, and then I just started, like, bawling, and I'm like, okay, this is my first impression, and she thinks I'm insane. But it went fine afterwards. I was very scared to ask for money. I've grown up in a family where we didn't have, a lot of finances, so it was hard to get out of my comfort zone to say, hey, I am actually going to be going on a mission trip, and this is new for me, but can you help, in any way, shape, or form, whether it's spreading the word. So there was someone who made cards. They're not here today. So what I did is I went online, and I made these cards with a QR code, and every time I talked about what I was doing, I handed them out, and I wish I would have brought some today so I could show you. But I was filled with anxiety to ask people for financial help, because as soon as I moved out, I was like, I will do everything on my own. And then now the trip, when he said it was $4,000, I was like, how am I gonna afford that? $4,250, right? So that's a lot. And then especially, I think for people who have families, like, that's a huge commitment. Now this year I'll be taking my sister, and so now it's like $8,000, and it sounds like a lot. $8,500 to raise for my family. So I think that it definitely is intimidating, and it's hard to say, can I make this commitment? But if you tithe just like even if it's from your personal self, like do it on a check basis, or say, I'm gonna make cookies, and hey, donate what you can, or tamales. I don't recommend tamales if you're Mexican, you can make them. Definitely was not a beneficial way, but any way that you can, making, yeah, it's a lot of work. So if you can make bracelets or have the younger kids, it's so easy for somebody younger to ask for money, and like to somebody else, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I can give you $100. To somebody that I ask, they're gonna be like, oh, I'll give you 20. That's fine, I'll take the $20 if you get a bunch of people to do it. And then anxiety-wise for my health, I was scared health-wise, like how am I gonna do this? This is my first time out of the country with him, out of all people. So I was like, he always makes jokes of everything, right? He's all over the place, and I was like, I need a list of absolutely everything, because I was freaking out. I was taking notes the whole time. Come to find out, I was fine with other people there with us. So Paul is great. He knows all the knowledge. He'll make you feel safe. But if you need details, you have other people who are there. Melinda is amazing. She is our safe haven. So it was definitely scary. I mean, even then, I was still scared going on the flight because it was my first time going out of the country. And I was by myself with no family. So if you want to go, pray about it, walk in faith, because it will be the best thing. And then now, me being older, my sister saw all that I talked about, and she's like, I can't wait to go. So I think it definitely moves.
Way to go, LA.
Yay!
Did you ever think last year in this meeting you'd be up here sharing? Never. You did amazing. See? And just so you know, I do have all the details. I just want to tell you all to you, so you'll get there. Before we leave on the trip, you get a big, huge book. It gives you the details of every single day. If you go through London, it gives you everything to do, everywhere to go. It spells out the entire trip. So I promise you, we'll get to those details. For now, I just want you to do the first steps. So if you do not have your managed missions profile done yet, that should have been done already. Your managed missions profile and your personal info and your public profile. If you don't know what I'm talking about, give me your email and I'll get you started on that. It's not too late for you to do that. You should have already published your profile, which means you're sending that out to people and letting them know that you're going to Malawi. You should have already raised at least $250. That's not that much. And the way that Melinda and I do it is we're consistently putting in our own money as we're asking people to put money in. Each year we try to find a bigger goal. We are bringing probably 80 to 90 interns a week from ABC out into the village, and they're renting vehicles every single time. So we're trying to use our extra money that we raised to buy a bus this time. Somebody already over-raised and said, can I give $10,000 to the bus? So that's amazing. Anything that we do as we're over-raising and working on, our goal is to buy that bus so we have that for Live Love Malawi while we're there. Here's the other thing I'll say about money. Have fun. Raising money is actually fun. If you look at it like the Terror Dome, then it's the Terror Dome. If you look at it like it's fun, you guys did a cow something. What did you guys do? Was that you guys? The gambling scheme?
Oh, the Super Bowl football squares. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, that's what it was. So it was some sort of gambling scam that apparently was legal. But they raised all kinds of money. I mean, I've heard whatever your area of joy is, that's how you should be raising money. Melinda makes the greatest cinnamon rolls in the history known to man. I gave it to my hairdresser, Barbara, but she's a lady. Is someone Barbara? It's the hairstylist. Whatever, she cut my hair. And she said, she's like, those were the greatest cinnamon rolls I've ever had in my life. I will pay you any amount of money for more. I said, well, she's raising money to go to Malawi. She goes, I don't care what the price is, I'll give you money. Use those things of joy to raise money. Because when you have joy in what you're doing, other people want to be a part of that. Don't sell whatever you're doing for $10. Say, I'm doing this for Malawi to raise funds. Give me any amount that you'd love to give. It's a tax write-off, bada boom, and it's like, I'm telling you, it's the difference between a $20 donation and a $100 donation. but it is consistently raising the funds, not waiting for the big person to write the big check, but have fun, have fun, have fun. We're gonna break out into groups here in a minute, because you could sit there and ask me questions all day long. I'd rather you have those questions with people that have gone 2, 3, 4 times. I'm gonna be up here answering questions. I'm gonna be, if you do not have your managed missions, I'll be working on that with you as well. Please make sure you've signed up on the sign up list, and then make sure your email is really clear. The fundraising, and I'm just gonna go a little bit more on this. This is what you need to be doing. Sending out letters, sending out emails, sending out texts. On your public profile on managed missions, the reason it's the public profile is because you can literally text that to people. You can email it to people. And it's just super easy just to, as you're having a conversation, oh, here, let me send it to you. You then watch the giving, and it goes, it's really easy to use, and I can help you if you're confused on it. I wrote down this word joy, because when I go to Malawi, I find joy. When I get through the airport, and I'm finally able to hear blessings and hear the team, you can hear them yelling and screaming and singing, and there's instant joy. As you're walking out of the airport, you have all the ABC students are standing there kind of timidly waiting to take your bags. And then they start singing, and they're taking your bag, and they're carrying, and they're looking at you, and there's this moment of joy. As you're on the bus and you're driving to ABC, you're looking around at this country, and you're just like, it's like you're finally there, and it's just filled with joy. You pull onto the ABC campus, which for my first time absolutely blew my mind. Mrs. Chinchin is sitting over here, but I remember when I pulled on and they were still living there, the Chinchins are a unique tribe of people. They do big things. And when I pulled onto the campus, I realized, oh, this is, like with just working with Palmer all these years, Palmer's foundation is from what was in Liberia and what was in Malawi. And it is a different level of just excellence and joy. You look around the campus and you're just like, I can't even believe we're here. You want to die because you're so tired, and I tell you to take a quick shower and get on the bus, and we go into the village. And as you're pulling into the village, they're dancing and they're screaming, and it's this moment of joy. You get off the bus, they grab your hands, it's joy. It is over and over again, start to finish, moment after moment of joy. Until I say it's time to go and we get on the bus for the last time, and then you're crying, but then it's a joyful cry. I'm just saying, this is a trip. I want to encourage you to do whatever you can to go. And then, right now, still look at who can go with me. Like, who are some people that I can bring? Because it is so amazing to do this with a family or a group of friends, or just like I even was looking at, can I bring my mom and my dad and my sister and brother-in-law? And I'm like, well, maybe I'll just go with my mom, because I want to have joy while I'm over there. I'm going to leave my dad and my sister. Little joke, but I'm doing. Hey boys, your mom's waving at you. She's right there. I don't want to point anything out. Just catch. For those of you that have been 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, if you could say a moment, and when I mean a moment, I mean like you get 30 seconds to talk. You got to stand up real quick and say, what was something that brought you joy while you were there?
I'll go first. I've only been 1 time, but when we got off the bus, just the amount of children that like were grabbing our hands, and then seeing the same children every day was just amazing. Like, I had the same 2 or 3 girls that would find me every time we went out to the village, and it was just the sheer joy that was on their faces was amazing.
Worship time. I love having a worship time in the house. You'll have it every morning, and it's so different than here, but it's so fun. So I love that.
So to piggyback off that, the kids in the village, but also the ABC interns. I had no idea the impact that they would have on us and that we would have on them, and we still talk to them today, which is it's gratifying and consistent.
I'll piggyback on that. The relationship. So this will be our 4th time going, and every year we see faces from the villages that we have seen every single year, interns we worked with in the past, and so deepening the relationships has been like, I think, the most joy.
I'll go. Just the villagers and how much they want to share everything they have with you, their food, and you know they have very little, but they still want to share it with you, and they're so excited for you to show them, you know, their houses, and it's just like, you look at those and you go, wow, you know, and we go home to our houses and, you know, there's nothing to compare.
Anybody else?
The fire at the prison, the stepping onto the stage at the prison, and the prison fire got up and sang, and I've never heard anything so beautiful in all my life.
To piggyback on Debbie's, if you walk around, oh, sorry. All right.
Stand up now. You gotta stand up now.
I don't want to now. No, they sell food at different huts in the village, and just bring the cast iron stomach, take a chance, but the food's delicious there, and it's probably was walking around the day before.
Now I'll go. Thanks. This will be my 5th time going, and I would piggyback on what Christine said, is the relationships that you build with the people. Those are life-lasting relationships that you come home with, that you talk to them, you know, when you're back in the States. And I think that's my favorite part, is going every year, and you're, you know, the people that you bond with coming and running up to you and, you know, saying hello and welcome back. And that's the biggest takeaway that I got from it.
And then you get relationships.
And then you
like
get this
this.
guy when you come back. And this time I hope I make it
I'm gonna
home
sum it up.
within a week.
It's awesome. Awesome.
That's all Derek said for 2 weeks. It's awesome. It's awesome.
There were so many things to enjoy over there with the people, but you know, they have simple things that you do. And when I first signed up to go the first time, I thought we had to do something. You had to build something. You had to leave them with something material, and found out that really it was not the material things that mattered. It was spending time with them. And a little boy adopted me the first time I walked off the bus, and he kept finding me every time I was in the village, every year. And I taught him how to do the I love you. And as I was leaving the village this last time, all I could see in the dust was him doing that. And so I can tell you that's one of the reasons I'm going back.
So the details of what we're doing, we'll get to in our later meetings. We'll be doing Vacation Bible School, we'll be doing kids ministries, we do justice, working in the prisons, working with women and widows, medical clinics, working with projects, doing tons of sports. I also like to find out what your giftedness is, and that's oftentimes what we have you working on as well. We don't go with a kids team and you're with the kids team the entire time. We go as a tribe, and I want you to experience a little bit of everything. There will be key dates. For example, when Dr. Curtis and the medical team has a key clinic, all medical personnel and a few other people are helping out. There are key dates with our VBS, and those key people and others are helping out. If you're an artist, I'm gonna have you doing art. If you're 7.5 feet tall, I'm gonna have you holding kids. And I mean, we do basketball, we do soccer programs. We had a lot of gymnasts last year, and so they did backflips, and the kids just went crazy. And so it is about spending time together, because what happens is I was just talking to Blessings, who's our country director, and he was telling me all the things that just happened the last couple months. They had all the chiefs. He said they had over 100 chiefs over to ABC, and they were doing a 2 or 3 day program with them, and he said it was one of the best programs they've ever had. They brought all of the widows, I think I talked about this last time, to the airport, and they sat there and watched the planes take off all day. And they said it was the greatest experience they've ever had, because they've never seen an airplane before. They brought all the kids to the ABC campus, and they had a program. They had a sports tournament where they said 7,000 people came in the village. We are stepping into a massive moving wheel, And as Americans, oftentimes we feel like, oh, we've got to go so we can change Malawi. I don't need you to change Malawi. I need Malawi to change you. I do need you to go, though, because I have had people oftentimes say, I just feel like it's a better use of my money if I just give. I'm telling you, please go, because it helps the Grove, and then it helps you serving here when you get back. If you want to serve as a family, come serve at Live Love, but then serve as a family in Malawi as well. It's so powerful. I can't stress that much. I can't stress that enough. If you don't know me yet, those that do understand that there will be words and things that come out of my mouth over the next 6 months that make absolutely no sense. Somebody will interpret to you and we'll help figure it out together. So
I feel like Africa would be a really big step and it'd be life-changing for me.
Yeah, it's very similar. I've never been. I'd really like the opportunity to be able to go. It's always been something I've dreamed of being able to do and experience just a different lifestyle and just grow in that culture and just be changed, because we have things so different. And I also would love to grow my relationship with the Lord, and so I would be really excited if I could make this work with my friends and meet new people too.
My name's Carrie. I'm her mom. And she has always had a volunteering heart, or we've always volunteered. We've done that, various organizations, things like that. I've never been to Malawi, but I have traveled abroad. So traveling to Africa would be something new for me. And I guess I would be most excited about making an impact and having it impact me, but also discovering a new culture, a new lifestyle, a new way of living, new people. So that's very exciting to me.
I'm Christy. I'm Courtney's mom. It's something that we've talked about for years. It's something that she's definitely wanted to do. I grew up doing some mission work, but in the United States, I did a trip to Appalachia. We are gathering information. We are not committed because we do have those anxieties. A lot of stuff, obviously, that we're thinking of, but we've been talking about it a lot more. It's something we definitely want to do, so we came to get more information and gather. Yeah, I mean, obviously the impact is going to be life-changing for her, and for us to do it together would be amazing. With Addison. And Rylan. Wow. I said, and Rylan.
I said, this is my group.
I know, but because her mom's not here. But we're going to get her mom to go with us. I'm just claiming because she didn't have her mom with her. But no, but I kind of want to get from more information, kind of just on even just the details, obviously, of some of those anxieties of the travel, the staying, the food, the medical. Like, I guess in my mom mind, when you go solo, you're just like, you're winging a prayer. But then when you think about taking your children, that's why we're here to learn more, because we are really wanting to, but we're getting information too.
My name's April. I have not been on a mission trip, but I've wanted to as long as I can remember. And I also want to take my 17-year-old son, who's so afraid of crossing the street. I think this will be really transformational for both of us. So
awesome. Selfish reasons. I truly believe being in Africa, I'm always closer to God. There's something about it. I don't know. I think it's closer to heaven, right, Paul? And so feeding my soul is so critical and important. I grew up as a missionary kid in Kenya, and I'm also, I don't want to say half Kenyan. I'm 100% Kenyan and 100% American. And so this is my people as well. So there's a portion of giving back, but also the amount I receive when I'm in Africa, even throughout my lifetime, is just, there's no words that can describe it. So just want to pitch, if you've never been, you are closer to God there.
Here we go. We're going back again. And it's something that kind of keeps drawing us there. Paul and Melinda introduced us, because we're snowbirds, and we got involved with the Grove Church through our children who started coming here because they live down here. And I don't know, how long has that been? 7, 8 years at least. But we have a church back home that we're highly involved in, but it's a small church. And we decided that we wanted to try and get them involved because we saw what it did for us. It's life-changing. You will change more than you will change them. So just keep that in mind. is that it's life-changing. And we wanted our church to experience that. And also, just like Paul was talking about, you get to know these people. These people that we've gone with, we feel like they're relatives, that they're close friends. We see each other, and it builds the church too.
Well, I'm Tara. We've been coming to this church for about a year and a half. I went last year. It was absolutely the most amazing, life-changing experience of my entire life. A lot of it's about relationships that you build with people there, but I'm really excited to be going back. I'm kind of involved. I want to get a little bit more involved with the agriculture stuff there, because I'm a farmer.
I'm Willie. I'm her husband. We went last year. The main thing I could say is that you think you're going to go there and see how they live, and it'll change you more than anything in the world. To see how happy they are, to see how much they enjoy the people that show up there, that we show up there, and how much joyful it is. It's just unbelievable. I didn't think we were going to be able to go because we have a farm and we have animals we have to take care of. So when my wife came home after she was in church, she said, "We're going on a mission trip." I said, "What?" I said, "Do you know what we have to deal with?" And by the grace of God, everything worked out, and someone that was working on our farm came back, and he took care of all the animals so we could go, and it was just, it was life-changing, definitely. You don't have to, if you're worried about food or stuff like that, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything is provided. Everybody watches out for everybody. It's just, it definitely is life-changing.
All right, anxiety, or you've been there before? No. I'm assuming you're pretty good.
Yeah. You get over your fears quickly. I mean, you got Paul, so you get over your fears quickly. Just pack lightly, right? Pack lightly. Stuff you can get dirty in, right? You wear your shoes and get dirty. Your shoes and casual clothing. You're gonna shake a lot of hands. You're gonna hug a lot of people. It's life-changing. It's incredible.
Holly, you didn't say why you were going back.
What?
You didn't say why you're going back.
Why I'm going back? I already told them.
So in your groups, I get asked questions all the time. How many bags do I get? Will I get to eat food? How many shots do I need to get? All these questions, and we'll be talking about those in future trips. But if you have questions right now, don't feel like you have to go through my questions. I want everybody to share real quick, but also use this as a time for question answer. What did you use to raise funds? How did you feel about flying on the plane? Or some of your anxieties. I've been walking around listening, things that you're worried about. Oftentimes those anxieties don't go away until you're actually doing what you're anxious about, but it helps to have a game plan. I like to have everyone think that I'm constantly winging it. In reality, I have so many spreadsheets and things behind the scenes that you don't see, so I know exactly what I'm getting into. My wife can attest to that. So in this time, for the next little bit, ask questions that you may have been in the back of your mind. Is it possible to raise funds? What happens if I get sick? All kinds of questions. So just do kind of a popcorn question and answer time right now.
Fair enough.
And I will say one thing about it is that, I had every fear in the world. I'm a germaphobe. I've never traveled internationally. I was sure that when I went over there, I was going to die of malaria and cholera. So the food, I'm a picky eater. I was worried about everything, and I tried to use all of those as an excuse not to go. And fortunately, I listened to Paul and other people who had been on the trip, talked to them a lot, and definitely the fears finally went away. He's right, it does take a while to get there, and once you finally commit, it does get better, and there's a lot of people that have been.
We had a question over here.
Do we have
Yes.
just a basic question?
Yeah.
What are the dates of the trip?
14th through the 28th.
Thank you.
June.
June, I'm sorry.
And then what? Yeah, I guess for the fundraising platform, obviously,
Yeah,
like
that's
what
another big
what
concern.
was your best fundraising? Like, how did you fundraise, or what worked the most, or?
Well, we did like almost like an auction. So we had a lot of gifts, things, and just people bid it on.
So people donate stuff. And
Yeah. So
I started driving Uber yesterday.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
No, but I
It
can
works.
do
You know? And you can
DoorDash.
do DoorDash, you can do Instacart, you can do all those.
Well,
but I started Uber. So.
I'm 17, so I don't know
you
if
know.
that's an option for me.
you can DoorDash.
Yeah.
We started with people we knew.
Okay.
And we will attest to what Paul says. You will get it from people that you least expect it. You expect family, friends? Mm-mm. Not any one of my family except for one niece gave to us the first year. The second year, we got a few more. But family and friends, don't count on that. Do anything you can think of. Look at your connections. Any, doctors, dentists, anybody like that, Bible study classes that you're in and things like that. But yeah, I was surprised. Family and friends were not our biggest.
Is it as simple as like creating a GoFundMe page and
You
saying,
can't go fund me. That's what the managed
but
missions
just
is.
saying like we're going on a mission, we're trying to raise funds.
Yes, and
like,
send
that's
that.
what I mean. I don't
Send
need a
that out
GoFundMe
to
for
every.
that. We're going on just creating a simple GoFundMe for that, saying, hey, we want to do this.
But that's what the managed missions does for you.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, if you get on there and do the managed mission, it's just almost like a GoFundMe.
Okay.
But it's better because it's tax deductible for
Got it.
people. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a public profile
Okay.
on managed missions. It gives you everything. You kind of write why you're going, what we're going to expect. Yeah.
Right.
And
How
then
God
that goes
moved
out.
you. You share that with people.
And I think it's that intimate part. So, for example, I have mine on Facebook right now, but I know people are seeing it. So it's like planting a seed. But it's the intimacy of those individuals and sending them a message on Messenger or something. So continuing to plug it in that manner. But from my historical, I have not been to Malawi, so but just that experience of the missions, it's that connection with that individual, giving them a call, and so on and so forth, that facilitates, I think, a lot of times closer to that.
What are the dates of do you have to have X amount by X amount?
Yeah, the managed missions will kind of tell you at what point, you should be at this level, you should be at this level.
Yeah, like Paul said, we should be about 250.
Just over raise, basically, because they're gonna make a difference. Okay.
And you guys have all, in one way or the other, been called to do this in your heart somewhere, and now you're answering that call. So, I hate fundraising. I've never done it. I've never asked for money, but it was so much easier when I decided I'm not asking for me. I'm asking to help people that have nothing until you realize they have more joy than you do. But
Exactly. They do have diddly squat. Sure.
Yeah, they do.
So overraise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other questions?
Another random question for it's probably dormitory style, I'm guessing, but would we be able to be with our children or
Yes.
separated or?
No, he first thought we were going to be in the village and we'd be camping out on the ground, But it's a dormitory. It's usually the women's dormitory, and you know how they're set up. Usually there's sleeping quarters, a bathroom, and other sleeping quarters. Usually with married couples like us, we get a whole unit, and so we put all of our stuff in one room, have the bathroom, and we slept in the other room. And the same thing, the kids, if you have kids, they'll be in the same room with you.
Okay.
But the bathrooms aren't like America.
No.
Get over that quickly.
Yeah. Hot water, maybe. Yeah. You want to take a flashlight?
Man up. Screaming and take a shower, get out of there.
Just in case.
Sometimes you're without
Just get in there for
electricity.
3 minutes and you out.
But nobody cares.
Food allergies, and she didn't have any problems.
Yeah. A lot of people with gluten-free, no problem. We stop at some grocery stores usually every night when we come back.
The girls will watch your boat.
And yeah, they'll wash your clothes. There's a gentleman over there that will wash your clothes.
He
It's
does
in
it by
a bucket,
hand.
But you know, the thing about it is, it's great. Within about 3 days, we all smell the same. You know, so it's not a big deal.
What are some culturally do's and don'ts?
Oh, one big thing is when you're in a village, women have to wear skirts below the knee. Absolutely, you have to have skirts. I wore hiking boots, hiking pants. I dressed for hiking is what I did every day. But you have to have a skirt or a chinchinche on when you're in a village.
Okay. Do we have to buy those in advance? Can we
You
buy
will,
them there?
yes.
Can we-
You will be able to buy some there, but you better have one get into the village.
Got it.
And
I
a
got
couple.
a couple of really nice long skirts at Goodwill. I just picked some bright, fun colors that were big enough to walk easily.
Just like light, flowy cotton skirts.
It does, yeah. Anything, it has to be below the knee.
Okay. You put the skirt over your pants?
Yes, absolutely. Because you're going to be sitting on the ground a lot.
Okay. So you wore like leggings and then a skirt.
I just wore hiking pants.
Oh, hiking. Okay.
I didn't take Levi's because they're too heavy.
Right. Yeah.
Hiking pants are usually really light. A hiking shirt's really light. So, and I wore my hiking boots because it's dusty. You know, some days, you know, Lindsay, I look down, she has sandals on, and we're at the women's thing, and it's just dust everywhere, and I'm glad I have my hiking boots on.
Well, talking about fundraising, I would talk to people about what the group has done there over the other years and what we're going to do there, like the medical clinic and teaching women how to sew, the sports program, there's a lot of stuff going on, the agriculture things, and I'm not remembering everything, but I saved every dollar, every tip I ever got, every goat I sold, anytime I trimmed goats' feet for somebody's herd, or any money. I've just been socking it away since we got back, but I have a little bakery, and a lot of the money that we raised came from the bakery. I had a little tip jar on my farmer's market table too, but
The other thing culturally is when you're in a village, you do not give anyone anything. A stick of gum, a piece of candy to a kid, absolutely not. Because if you do that, there'll be masses of kids around you. And if you give something nice to them, you know, somebody gave him sunglasses one year and he came back the next day and he was beat up because you absolutely do not give money, nothing to the village.
Not even a water bottle.
Not even a water bottle.
Yeah, Live Love will, if you want to give something, work through Live Love. Blessings and Live Love. They'll make sure it's done properly. They'll make sure it goes to the right place, that type of thing. And sometimes it's hard, but I can tell you, in all the years we've been there, I've only been asked for something twice. They just don't ask. So, you had a question?
I did. So going along with the skirts, how they need to be below the knee.
Okay, a couple of minutes, and then
Like,
we're
do
gonna wrap
you
up.
need to wear long sleeves?
You don't have to wear long sleeves, but as Paul say, if you have to ask about it, don't wear it.
I
So
would say
no
just-
spaghetti strap stuff. Yeah.
Just thinking, because I'm going to show you a bag I got from Zambia. And I take this everywhere with me, and it's a reminder. So the only thought, as you all were speaking, I was thinking about is maybe buy one or two skirts here. And then buy something. when you get there,
And don't
because I think
don't
there's
wear really
something-
revealing things.
Yeah, my concern is more like, does it have to be long sleeves or can
No.
you wear short sleeves?
You can wear short sleeves.
Okay.
I wear a lot of t-shirts.
Yes.
I'd go to Old Navy and stock up on a lot of cheap t-shirts and leave them all there.
5 for 20.
Yeah, usually we leave a lot of our clothes and a lot of things there when we leave.
Okay.
And you talked about buying things in the village. Is that so? Like, I guess how much additional funds do you bring? Is that cash? Is it obviously, or how does
We
that?
have a certain amount of cash when you go to the grocery store and stuff. And when the interns are helping us all the time, we come back and you pick a couple of interns, take them in, get them some, some drinks and some cookies. I mean, we buy them out of cookies in the store and things like that. So you do take some cash. He'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We bought a painting and stuff, and things like that. So we spent more the first year than we did last year.
Any other big ones? Yep.
For those of us who have never been, you touched on the things we do there and the impact we make to the village, and using that then in the managed mission profile and whatnot. Does anybody have that type of information for us to add to ours? Because I've never been, I don't have that. I can't say, we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z while we're there.
Yeah, well,
okay, people will share that.
The original, on his, they've got kind of a thing that the Live Love program does.
Okay.
And you just have to add maybe your, you know,
The
your
personal,
individual.
our personal business.
Right.
Yeah.
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 All right. I don't have an account, so I don't know. I'm probably asking questions. You're like, oh my
I'll
gosh.
show you. Let me see if I can.
It's all good. Our next meeting is in the management. It will be on details. Thank you. Says right there, February 2nd, 12 o'clock, March 2nd, April 6th, May 18th, June 8th. So it's under meetings, tasks, and goals. I'll start putting on the fundraising amounts that you need to be at. I'll start putting in links and trip documents. There's books that I think you should be reading. None of it's required. The way this works is I'm throwing out a really wide net. I'm just giving you enough information to keep you going. I promise. By the time you're getting on a plane, you will have every minute of the following 2 weeks, dial it in, and as best you can, you'll know what you're getting into. But I can't break your heart until you step off into the village, and it's the greatest experience ever. So please look at me as a resource, but also some of these people that have gone numerous times. Where's Dr. Curtis? Did he leave? Dr. Curtis has been, I think, 87 times to Malawi. How many times have you been? 10?
No, I think this is 8.
Okay, it's just 8. He was one of our original medical people that helped start all this stuff. So you are going, hopefully. He and several other medical staff are going with us. When people are, what if you get sick? We have doctors and nurses traveling with us. There's a hospital 100 feet from where we're at with great doctors. It is just, just take a step, all right?